Hey there, Prairie Plant Girl here. It is the middle of August already, and so I thought I would take you for a quick little tour around the garden and yard today so you could see what's happening, maybe what's changed, and just how it's looking here in mid-August. So let's have a quick little look, starting over here on the west side of my backyard. I think we'll actually start here at the back of my patio, where I have these beautiful containers just filled over brimming with flowers. I have the white flowers are the impatiens. Those are the white impatiens, the Beacon series impatiens that I started from seed this spring. And then the pink flowers are begonias. I believe those are from overwintered tubers, but I did pick up a few new tubers this year, so they could have been from that. And there was Terenia down in here, but there's only a few that are still kind of peeking out, but that's the purple flowers there. But I've been really happy with this combination. The impatiens are starting to kind of take over the begonias even, but they were, for most of the year, looking really nice and colorful with all three plants showing. Down along the west side of the patio is kind of a little bit of a shadier space. It does have some sunshine in parts of the day, but it's early in the morning here right now. There's some gorgeous sedum that's blooming there. I still have some hosta blooms happening. I did have to take another hosta out here that had the hosta virus X, and I've just stuck my amaryllis bulbs in there for now temporarily over the rest of the summer. There's some obedient plant coming up. Feverfew I have right there. I wanted it for cutting and I haven't even used it. But that's the yellow little ball flowers there. I think they would get taller if they were getting more sunshine, but I'd put them over here because I had read that insects don't care for feverfew. And so I didn't want it around all my other flowers. It might keep the pollinators away. Here's another basket combination I'm just loving with the yellow begonia and then the white kind of creamy colored begonia hanging down there. And then that's Brawalia that I grew from seed. And there's a few little, I can't remember what the sweet pea variety is called. That one's not Cupid, but it's a shorter variety. It only grows like 6 to 8 inches tall or long, so it's just a nice little addition in there. Those are the seed heads from poppies. There's some purple liatris, cosmos. The lilies are coming to the end there, just a few left. The squash is growing up the trellis there, but I haven't seen any squash on that one yet. I think that was the pumpkins, the Little Jack, Little Pam? There is a squash plant back in there. You can see the yellow flower, but it hasn't really grown up. I think those were the celebration squash. These are the red shades Heliopsis that I planted from bare root last year or the year before, I can't remember. This is gumweed. This is a native plant, this yellow little kind of button-like flower down here. So I planted that from seed. No, those were starts that I purchased, I think, last fall. Kind of a neat little plant. I wasn't sure what the actual plant looked like. Kind of interesting. And then there's an East Elite squash back there. It actually has a little squash on it. I don't think you can see it through the leaves. Those are some Jimson potatoes there. This is my Romeo cherry. I'll be harvesting from it, I think, this week. I did all the rest of my cherries. Got about 10 pounds off my other cherry plants. Before we go into the garden back there, let's go around and look at the rest of the flower beds. I haven't done much with my roses this year, and this one, it's really getting a little bit out of control. I should probably do some trimming on it for fall. I've been very happy with these pots here. This is the firecracker vine. And then there's some verbena and some petunias is mostly what you're seeing there. There is a little bit of coleus. This is the chocolate covered cherry or chocolate chip, something like that. I grew it from seed this year. And there's some Brawalia, but not Brawalia, Bacopa. I think I called this Brawalia before too, that I grew from seed this year. Oh, and these are little, oh, those are good to see. What is it? Is it damselfly? I don't think that's the right word, but that's the eggs of a good bug we want in the garden here. So those little things hanging off there, looks like little threads. That's some Asclepias or milkweed. This little clematis is just going like crazy there. It hasn't gotten real tall, but it's blooming away. So this is the bed I developed just a few years ago. I've been slowly filling in and working on. It's mostly annuals in here with a few perennials. This is a purple gumbush drop, I think it's called. Monarda or bee balm. Rudbeckia. There's calendula. That is white liatris. There's some more Rudbeckia here. Cosmos, pink flowers. Asters. That's an Annabelle hydrangea, I know that one. Sceviosus and paper daisies. And going back through where we just came from, there's echinacea, more Rudbeckia. I kind of mass planted a bunch of tall flowers and plants in here this year just to kind of see what happens. So there's amobium, which is this white flower. And there's some dahlias. There should be some gladiolus. There's one that's escaped the confines. And crocosmia should be growing in there. There's a few snapdragons. It's a pretty full little space. I was just kind of curious how it would work out in there. There's amaranth in there, bee's friends. I haven't cut flowers like I usually do. I don't know, I just haven't been thinking to do that this year as much, but I really need to take advantage of some of these flowers I have out here. Going into the garden is a bit of a jungle these days, especially when you have trouble pulling out volunteers that are as nice as these. So we go Rudbeckia here. In the back here we have some cucumbers, and I am getting the odd cucumber. They're not the healthiest looking plants, but considering I didn't even think these plants were going to survive this year. After a late start, some cold weather, they're doing not too bad. They're coming up the trellises for the most part, like I wanted them to. This is a volunteer parsnip that went to seed, and that's, I think those are Jimson potatoes that are coming out the front of this bed and billowing over into the walkway, filling it up. And then I have squash in this bed. So this is a Styrian hollis, and that's, I don't think what that is. I think this is a neon that's moved its way over from the center of the bed. I don't know if there is actually a Styrian hollis growing anywhere. This is a melon. I can't remember which one this is. Tip top. And there's at least one little melon growing in there. And again, I got all this stuff started late this year in these beds, and then it was so cool I didn't think we were getting anything, so everything I get is a good thing. There's New Rocket Pumpkin, which I'm pretty sure I have one down there that it's crept along that way. This down here, I believe, is off the Rouge Vif de Tombe. And I think it's getting a little bit bigger every single day. Some volunteer kale in there, volunteer dill. Here's those New Rocket, I think those are both New Rocket pumpkins there. Pretty sure that's another Rouge Vif de Tombe. And then Cougar, I think, is what is down in this corner. So I'm guessing that's what that is there. And in here is Minnesota Midget Melons. And I'm trying to find it because I know I have one in here. Down in there. So I've got one growing there. Another cucumber. I've had a few off of this plant. I don't see any. Oh, there's a few back there just starting. This is my autumn frost squash, and I don't think there's a single squash growing on there. I've only seen male flowers so far. So male flowers on squash look like that. Inside it's just a single, and then the back it just goes straight to stem, whereas a female on a squash plant or a melon will have a little kind of mini little melon or squash at the back behind the flowers. So that's how you know. I've still been getting a little bit of lettuce out of here, but I should pull this out. It's started to bolt the last few days. So I should pull it out and put a fresh planting in for fall. And over here is my watermelon. And it's growing up over the trellis. There's lots of little melons, but I don't think any of them are big enough at this point that they'll grow into anything. Here's another little one here. Another one here. And when I really get looking, there's quite a few on here, but I don't think we have enough time with about 6 weeks left of our frost-free time to really get a sizable melon out of here. So I think watermelon's a bust this year. Celery, looks like I never pick off of it, but I do. There's more kale in there. I honestly haven't had much kale this year. The beets I've been enjoying. Much nicer than last year when the voles hollowed them all out. There's nice sized beets in there. Those are Golden Detroit. And these, I can't remember what variety this is here. Is it Merlin? Can't remember. My apple tree almost can't hold up the weight of those apples anymore. Probably another month before I'm picking them. And the beans are starting to flower and get some beans on them, so should be picking beans soon. I think those went in, was it late June, early July? And the tomatoes are looking great. I have not kept up on keeping them trimmed and staked and tied up very well this year. I don't know, I've been kind of a lazy gardener this year, but lots of tomatoes. Like, look at the size. Look at the size of this one. And lots on that plant that are nice and big. So, is that a black cream? Yeah. I think this is Amish paste. Might be aroma. I don't see the tag. No, it's pretty tall. That must be an Amish paste. Roma is more of a bush tomato. There's a Thornbury terracotta in there. Lots of tomatoes in there. I pulled my garlic out a while ago. It wasn't, I don't know, the last couple of years have not been good garlic years for me, and it looks like my onions have all fallen over in the last few days, so I'll be harvesting onions. I have a late planting of carrots down. I don't know if you can see those little tiny green babies there. Those are carrots. And here's my zucchini and summer squash. And I've had a few zucchini. It looks like the yellow stripe, what is it called? Sunstripe zucchini is coming along, and there's some other zucchini over, the summer squash over here. I forget what variety this is. It's quite pretty though. And then here's the bed you saw me working in recently with broccoli and cauliflower in it. And the aphids seem to have gotten less in there. I don't really see any as I'm looking through the netting right now. So that's good. Hopefully taking out most of the offending plants and getting the diatomaceous earth on there. It's gotten them more under control. The little seedlings are looking pretty good. I don't like to go straight to things like even diatomaceous earth, even though it's considered organic. I like to let the good bugs do their job, but they just can't get in here to do that, so that seems to have helped. And the red cabbage you may have seen me plant a while ago is doing good, except that these little nets aren't as good as the other one. You can see they don't tuck down in the ground when plants get big under them. And I just saw cabbage moth caterpillars on here, so I know I've killed a few moths under the net, and I'm gonna have to do a little more diligent patrolling. Yeah, look at this, it's just covered in them. Now you can get a product called Bacillus thuringiensis, and you need the BTK. Bacillus thuringiensis are bacteria, I think it's bacteria strains that are very specific to the pest, so you have to get the right strain for the right pest. So I could mix that up and spray this, but I'll probably just maybe try and get a bigger net, or there's just a few plants here, try and pay more attention, and I'll just kind of clap the moths down when they're caught in the net a little bit. But definitely have some caterpillars in here doing their thing. So to try and get that under control. Oh, and there's a grasshopper in here. And these are my peppers. This is, what is it called? North Star, I believe. First year I've grown these. They're looking great. Nice sized peppers. There's more on that plant over there. And then this whole pepper bed is just full of peppers. Again, looks like I'm not eating any of this food, but I am. But I need to do a big pepper harvest, it looks like. And then the potatoes are all looking good. So potatoes in the pots, more over here. And these Norlands are looking like they're pretty close to harvesting. They've really died back in the last few weeks. We're getting cooler nights again, so you see the pansies are starting to come back. These flower pots are looking good, except that I need to deadhead the snapdragons. I think everything in here was grown from seed, or the coleus was kept over the winter as cuttings. It's pretty nice. Sweet potatoes are looking amazing above ground. We'll see what they look like underneath when it's time to harvest. Those got started pretty late. Pansy's still looking good. Ladybug in there doing its job. Good work, ladybug. There you can see those Romeo cherries. There's probably at least half a dozen or more right in that one spot there. A bunch more back there. And this is some more Jimson potatoes. Looking good. These are carrots that are growing almost completely in shade back here. But I have been getting a few little of the baby carrots out of here. So hopefully some of the larger ones are getting bigger back there. I did notice the other day I have a couple that have decided to go to seed, which I don't often have here because carrots are supposed to be biennial, so they shouldn't do that till the second year, but those guys, I guess, are a little precocious. And there's a view back from this corner of the yard. I can't wait to get that net off that tree. It just ruins the view of everything, but it's kept the cherries safe, so I guess it's worth it. We've had a lot of forest fire smoke coming down from the north, so I haven't really been out here doing much to take care of things, but it's all growing and looking good on its own. Here's a view of that east flower bed from the grass side. So thanks for coming along for a little walk through the garden with me this morning, see what's happening in my yard. Let me know in the comments down below what's happening in your yard this time of the year, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.